Hello, 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 beautiful lights. This is Donna with the Power Exchange of Tarot. And I just felt really compelled today to talk about my journey, my twin flame journey. Even the closest of friends, I've never disclosed, nor will I in this video as well, who my person is. My mother knows. That is it. So, I've always been a very highly intuitive empath, psychic, from a very young age. And I was always a very loving, giving person, which we overgive, correct, empaths, and we tend to overgive all the time, whether it's to relationships, friendships, family ships. We're just constantly overgiving. And I got to an age where I made a huge move to leave where I was raised and took on a job that was less than, me owning my own business. And, when you work for people, I tried to give my all, but it was never good enough. They had standards. They wanted quickies, subpar work, which I wasn't used to. And it tore me down. And other things in my life happened. I lost my fiance to cancer, my father 8 months later, then put my dog down in between the two that I had for 16 years. And I don't know where this person came from. It's like, looking back, it's like it didn't even feel real or that it was me, but I became very angry, very bitter. It was always their fault or somebody's fault, and felt very alone. I've had, including my twin, 3 relationships that I just knew. One was my ex-husband. One was my late fiance who passed, and my twin. The rest, they were trauma or sexually drawn, or because I was just fucked up on substances that I entered into those relationships. And then I met my twin. And all freaking hell broke loose. I got rid of that job. I started becoming the creative being that I have always been. My intuition went off the chart. And I do believe that when you connect with your twin, that whatever gifts that you have, they amplify. Now think about it. By 2. They just amplify. When you're in their energy, when you're in their presence, it just amplifies. Now, of course, my twin, consciously or subconsciously, I always felt like he kept me at an arm's length. Let's just say that. And I do believe that's because he knew I knew him. I could see right through him. All of his lies, all of the manipulations, all of the games, and, his wounds. Oh, his wounds. And I knew. And I knew intuitively that he was, acting out through his wounds and what he was going through. And of course, I just felt like, I'm not going to put myself in competition. I'm not going to act as if everything's okay. And, oh, that's so cool. Yeah, drink some more, do this, do that. Because those people were actually wounded too, and they were in their stuff as well. So, misery loves company. But it upset me, and but then I think back about when I went through that, and it's almost like this parallel and this watching yourself again, going through the same thing, but yet differently. And wishing they knew what you know now, then, in that moment. And it's funny, when I first met my twin, I didn't really like him. I didn't. The first couple times it was just like, who is this? I could tell that there was something not right. And then came the attraction, or it was just an obsession, and I just couldn't stop thinking about him, couldn't stop trying to be in that energy around him. Now, mind you, this is not physically. We have distance between us. We have, oh God, talk about the challenges. That's my life path number. Distance, age. What else? Probably the way we were raised as well was probably different. But, and I could never understand, I was always nice. I just, wasn't there to blow smoke or, up somebody's ass. Not that I don't mind compliments, but I don't feel compliments are necessary. Sometimes a lot of people compliment you because they want something, and that's the truth. Just being highly intuitive, they, I do believe that in his distortion, in his addiction, many addictions, but it all stemming from woundedness, needing that attention, drinking, needing a lot of attention from, distorted or confused his energy with me. But yet he was manifesting right in front of my eyes. It's like all of a sudden he's got a lot of redheaded people all around, tons. People are changing their hair color to be red. It's like they sensed my energy. They sensed that dynamic, and they wanted to be that one. And, you know, we can go down the rabbit hole as far as, you know, how people can try to take other people's energy and try to become that energy, but the frequency is never the same. But of course, I think that if somebody's in their distortion with chemicals, alcohol, anything like that, they're gonna their perception of where the energy is coming from may be off. And maybe he knew. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. I'm just wanting to put out my story because not everybody has had a relationship with their twin. Not everybody has had sexual intercourse or, you know, any romantic type of relationship with their twin. And not everybody, and I want to say this, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it, not everybody's going to come into union with their twins. So, if it's a 50-50, are you sitting around waiting? Or are you living your life? Don't wait for something that may not come. So, just so you know that, you know, Eckhart Tolle never met a twin. He doesn't have a twin. He doesn't claim to have one. I knew from a young age, I knew there was someone out there. I felt that energy. I felt that pull. I was always a loner, or always trying to fit in with crowds that I just never felt comfortable with. Never felt at home or in my skin with. So, this huge transformation where I started shedding all the anger and the bitterness. Basically, it's the dark night of the soul when we realize it's like I had to look myself in the mirror and say, wow, who the hell is this? Who was that? Almost like I was being possessed by something dark. Because it never was me. So, needless to say, I do believe that my masculine has disclosed this or somewhat of this to someone close to him as well. And I think that he thought he was crazy. I think he thought he was imagining it. And maybe even that person told him that he was crazy, that he's imagining it to get over it. You know, using logic and not trusting our gut and our soul, our spirit. Since then, this has been 2 years of no communication, none. My feelings, my view of my journey has shifted. It's not a sexual attraction. It's not where, oh my God, I want to jump his bones. He's, you know, sorry, I'm going to say, you know, getting all wet and moist, you know, like I did at the beginning. Hell, I thought I was dried up. I thought, you know what? No one has ignited that in me in so long. And I mean long. 10 years before him. It was just an amazing experience, but that changed. And I'm not saying that I don't find him attractive. I'm not saying that if we were in a relationship that I would feel that type of attraction. Probably. But it has evolved to such a deep, unconditional love. There probably isn't a day that has not gone by that I have not thought of him. Sometimes I go and try to take a sneak peek. But I know that there is more to this journey than union. How blessed I was to have this encounter. And now I look and it's like, wow, that is me. It's like you want to navigate them. You want to oh, don't do that. Don't pick that. Don't you? Oh, turn. But you can't. They have to experience their own experiences. And how much the parallels are. When this first started, it was the frickin' synchronicities, the frickin' signs. If your twin had say a Bentley and you live in the fucking ghetto and there ain't no Bentleys, you don't see no Bentleys, and all of a sudden you see a Bentley just like theirs. That's the shit that was happening. Just as he was pulling in all these redheaded people, all of a sudden, a bunch of redhead friends, redheads. I thought I was, at one of those Scottish redhead festivals. It's like, fuck, is everybody going red in the world? But remember, our thoughts manifest our realities. So, now I can look and I can view it as that is me over there having this experience, and wow, look at that. And yes, there's things that I'm as an intuitive, no, but they're his experiences. With the age difference, I have lived and I've made my mistakes, and I've had to overcome many obstacles and even addictions and bad choices. And he has the right to do that as well. It is not for me to dictate how his ego navigates his human form. It's so different, but yet it's so the same. It's just like, wow, that's shit I did. Little different, but pretty much the same. Choosing partners. He had options and he had people on the side, and I believe that he made some bad decisions with friends and people. I feel like somebody held something over his head, something he did while he was intoxicated and did stupid stuff. Kept him tied to certain toxic people that held things over his head. Thank God. No one ever tried to, but boy, I'm sure there was a lot of talk about me back in those days when I was a drunk. You know, your friends telling you shit that you did the next day. No one ever held it over my head, but I'm sure they talked about me behind my back. But he is in a relationship and you know, possibly there could be marriage and a family for him. But that relationship was out of trauma, experiencing a trauma, and you know, someone made them feel good. Someone made them feel worthy. But where my masculine went wrong is that he was supposed to heal on his own. He was supposed to heal and not enter into a trauma situation, because it is from within that we seek. So this leaves him still in that 3D sense of things, living out trauma connections. And I won't say, you know, yes, I do know, but I will not say what I see for that future. So, you know, it's not that I've never entered into a trauma relationship. It's not that I've never entered in a relationship where I did not feel good enough. And see, the unfortunate thing is when I met my masculine, I didn't feel worthy. I seen all the options and and there was so much healing that needed to be done within myself that I didn't feel worthy enough, and I didn't think he would choose me. So I never made it very clear of how I felt. I was very mysterious, kept my crystal visions very close to myself. In times that I wanted to, my guides wouldn't allow me to, because I do believe that I still had more healing to do, as did he. And I became very dependent and reliant on my guides, on divine source. I didn't want to navigate in that ego when it came to this connection. I trust. So, today where am I? Well, I have opened up my heart to all love and in all forms. I have beautiful friends and family. But most importantly, I love myself. I love myself enough. I'm not sitting there waiting for the light bulbs to go on and my divine masculine to get healed. That may not ever happen. And I'm okay with that. I know when it is time and when the divine chooses to bring someone towards me, I will feel that same feeling that I did with my ex-husband, I did with my late fiance, and I did with my twin flame. It'll be a recognition. It'll be a knowing that that person is for me. And I've never felt it. But with those three. And I've had, and I'm not ashamed to say it because that is my past. I've had many partners. many situations. So it's just a knowing. You just know. So we cannot detach. We cannot remove. We cannot cut ties. We cannot banish your twin. You are your twin. That is your soul experiencing life in another form. When you can come to that place where you could just view it as such without putting a need to have, and I'm going to say union, because I can every now and then peek in on my masculine where it's not a need to see them physically. It's the energy. And also it is getting a peek at yourself and what you're doing. That curiosity. I wonder what they're doing now. You know, have they leveled up? Have they healed? Where are they at? And maybe some may say that's wrong and you shouldn't do that. Oh, it might not, you might not get union if you do that.